Hello everyone and welcome back. If you've been following along, I've been making a vision board for the last 2 years now, and around this time last year I decided to film me making my vision board. I also did, I think it was a 3 and a 6 month update, and now we are halfway through December and I wanted to do a full 2020 vision board update. Now, I will be making one for the new year as well, and I just want to kind of say, obviously, 2020 took a turn for the weird amount, I guess you can kind of say. Definitely some unexpected things occurred with the pandemic, but I definitely still saw a lot of progress in a lot of my areas of my vision board, which I will go over and share with you today. I'm also going to be hosting a vision board class just to kind of gather together men and women who maybe want to create one too and guide you through the process. Without further ado, I will show you my vision board. Very nice, right? Nothing has changed on it really. I'm just going to move over. I'm on my bed today because it's cozy and I'm cold. So I'm going to go through quadrant by quadrant. Now, like I've said before, I base my vision board on Feng Shui. This is a technique I learned from a local business relationship life coach named Tina Brigley, who hosted a vision board workshop with me back in 2019. So I still use the same kind of philosophy or version, I don't know, Feng Shui. It's Feng Shui. And so they have 9 different quadrants. So the quadrants are laid out kind of like that, like that in quadrants that way. And we're going to start with this quadrant up here. So I'm going to describe what my goals for it, what my mindset was behind it, and what actually manifested throughout this year. So the first quadrant is wealth and abundance, and it has a few other things. Wealth and abundance. So in this quadrant, the goals that I originally wanted, like I have a picture of, you know, a nice dining room set. I'll go a little bit closer. If you can see, I have a loft there. I have an Audi steering wheel, one of my favorite kinds of cars. And my goals at the beginning of last year were never to buy my own place, nor did I want to buy a new car or anything like that. But it's just that I wanted to get comfortable with the idea of one day soon owning my own place, because I just felt like it was such a polarizing thought moving out on my own. I just never thought that that would be something that I'd want to do in the near future for myself, despite being at an age that that's definitely something that I feel like I should have to do, right? Being at 25 years old. And so the whole idea of this year was not to buy my own place or buy my own car, but rather be comfortable with that idea. And it's funny because Carlos and I have been definitely making steps towards wanting to do that, even though despite the fact that the housing prices in my area are like skyrocketing. This is definitely something that we are discussing and much more comfortable discussing as well, at least with me. And while I am nowhere near buying an Audi, Carlos has one and I've gotten to drive his. So to me, that's how that has manifested in my life. Moving over to the next quadrant, I just have them here: fame, reputation, and social life. So that was kind of this area. As you can see, they all kind of like blend together. So I had a picture of Olivia Culpo, former Miss Universe, Jessica Alba, Lily Aldridge, the word queen, congratulations to the world's best, creating the future you want rather than sitting back waiting and hoping. So I think what I wanted here definitely had to do with surrounding myself with high, how do I want to say this, with people who are in the positions that I want to be in, right? I think that's a very common thing that we learn about successful people. And another thing that I wanted was just development in modeling. I wanted development in magazines, development in pageantry as well. Those were some of the areas that I was looking at, as you can see by the pictures that I cut out and pasted. And so a couple things that did develop. So even though we were in a pandemic, I was still able to do upwards of 25 photo shoots and modeling opportunities, you know, before the pandemic, and even some during it as well. I competed at Miss World Canada, and even though I did not win the overall title, I did do very well there. So that is how I kind of maintained my queen-like status. And what I thought was really cool is Olivia Colbo is a former Miss USA. And while I did not anticipate this at the beginning of last year, I hired a former Miss USA, Miss USA 2009, Kristen Dalton, to coach me for Miss World Canada. And that would have never been a correlation I made in my head, but because I worked for Pageant Planet and I had Kristen Dalton as one of like their guest coaches, one day she was coaching me and I decided to hire her from there. So I think it's just kind of funny how you manifest different things in different ways. And although I never, anticipated that being something that I would want, it just happened to align with me in a time that I needed it. And I'm actually going to continue coaching with Kristen in the new year. So pretty cool how that has kind of manifested. As far as becoming the world's best, there's always room to grow, but I'm definitely better, more developed in each of those areas that I mentioned than I was last year, just by putting in the effort and making an effort to connect and network. And I can only imagine where I'll be this time next year. All right. This next quadrant is going to be a sad one. Oh, no, it's not. It's love and relationships. I thought it was travel. No, so the whole idea what I wanted there, because as you can see, there's like couples and they're on vacations, was that I wanted to do more small road trips, and I wanted to go out with Carlos more and do like small getaways. And we wanted to go to El Salvador this year to visit his family. And of course that just did not happen. No one really anticipated that this was going to happen, and nor am I upset about these things. But I will say, as far as love and relationships go, we have developed so much in our relationship. And actually, I don't know when I'm going to post this, but tomorrow is our 4-year anniversary. So we are doing amazing. I've surrounded myself with some incredible women that I am so grateful to call my friends, and I just feel so whole when it comes to the friendships and relationships in my life. So while there isn't really much on the vision board to kind of describe that, maybe that's, a good thing, because had I been kind of focused on traveling and going away way more, I wouldn't have been focused on building a community of women around me. And then of course there are some dogs, some Frenchies, pugs. Right before the pandemic, I was supposed to go to this yoga with Frenchies that got canceled, but that would have been so sweet. New beginnings and family. So I didn't quite have a quadrant for that. I kind of took the quadrant below, which was wisdom and self-knowledge. So kind of like this, and I just kind of amalgamated the two. Didn't have too much when it came to new beginnings and family, but I just kind of took it as a beginning with myself, continuing my own spiritual journey to connect with my, inner being, that type of thing. Going to the middle. So the middle, they say, is the most important, because the middle is your health and well-being. It's the center of everything, right? If you don't have your health and well-being, then you don't have any of this, and even if you did, it's gonna be irrelevant and not worth it, because you need your health first. So I had 2020 MG put right in the middle. Obviously my initials, the year, and beautiful sparkles, and then had the word escape to fitness, which is funny because now I'm a personal trainer, and December 2019, I was not anticipating becoming a personal trainer. So I think that's just very interesting how now I'm literally in the fitness industry in that way. So some things that had to do with health, wellness, I had weights there, waking up at 6 a.m., which was not a common theme throughout the year, but I still love the idea of that. My goal was to run a marathon again. Didn't happen. Just have some, photos of women working out. Not that health and well-being is all about like working out or anything, but you can see I have some crazy yoga, meditation poses, food. I definitely wanted to make it inclusive of all of those things, and I definitely think I did maintain that. I would say that all of these things, I think I got in the best shape of my life, honestly, for Miss World Canada. I'm really proud of how I was physically, and how the way my body looked and the way that it performed. I haven't started setting goals for the next year quite yet. Like I have been, but not this deep, but I don't have like a deeper meaning. The only thing that I would say that I'm really extracting from this is that fitness became a really big part of my life, because now I teach others how to lead a healthier life through being a personal trainer. So I don't know, maybe that's how it manifested in my life, right? Like there's no right or wrong. It's what we make of it. So very interesting, especially in a year where a lot of people lost their health and wellness, you know, just because of unprecedented circumstances. I felt like I was able to use that as a place to go when I was feeling like lost or confused during these times. It was, like I said, it was like I was escaping to fitness rather than just escaping to nothing, pretty much. So cool in that way. So that was the middle quadrant, health and centering. The next one was children and legacy. I think that's why I had the dogs, because I'm just not ready to have kids yet, so I put dogs. And no, I don't have dogs, but hold up here. You're all gonna think I'm a child. I do have my stuffed dogs. I have a stuffed Frenchie and 2 stuffed pugs, so this is probably really embarrassing, but I'm a child at heart, and those are my children. At least for right now, until I get real ones. Yeah, so children and legacy, and then I had your spontaneity is showing, because I just feel like when it comes to legacy, I'm not as spontaneous as I want to be. And I will say, I feel like the legacy that I left in this 2020 year was still being able to achieve and start and grow things despite all odds, because at the very beginning of the year, I started a campaign called Sign the Sash, which I have now with me. It didn't go as far as I'd hoped. It went to 5 provinces, but still it went to 5 provinces, almost 50 title holders, just incredible. I was able to start a pageant course, a fitness course. I'm now working on starting more coaching memberships and things like that. So I feel like I really did start a lot, and I'm only beginning the process of what legacy I want to leave for the women who come after me. And there will be more development on that. I didn't have too much on here. I'm eager to make my vision board for this next year much more clear now that I kind of understand what each of the quadrants mean and what I want. Okay. So like I said, this one was wisdom and self-knowledge, which I'm really big on. I love reading about, you know, spirituality and self-awareness and self-knowledge. And I had a lot of really like inspiring quotes, like focused by tranquility, being mentally strong, experience, lots of meditation. I feel like I was definitely connected to this more in the first 6 months of the year than I was in the last 6 months. I feel like I've just had a lot of life switches and changes, you know, working full time and competing for the pageant, that I really haven't prioritized this. And it's definitely not like a great feeling, because I know how wholesome I feel when I am. And this will be one thing that I want to put at the top of my priorities for 2021. While I'm still achieving and accomplishing these things, I want to make sure I have that compassion towards myself and that self-awareness and that sense of bliss that I love to carry about in my life. So, you know, words like tranquility and, you know, mentally strong, those will be words I want to carry into 2021. I'll just have to find photos to go with them. Okay, the last 2 are career and life journey and travel. So career and life journey, I have photos, like someone who's doing a big presentation, and there's these people who look like they're kind of in a meeting. I have Be the Boss, All or Nothing, and Best Speakers. So I feel like this has developed throughout the whole year as well. Like I said, at the beginning, like the first couple of months of 2020, I was working just as a nurse, not just as a nurse, it's an incredible profession. And then I had to kind of step up and help out once COVID came into my area, and I wasn't able to quite develop these things. And I didn't really know where I was going with coaching or how to even grow it. Like I had no concept of what I wanted to accomplish or achieve, but luckily I have mentors and coaches in my life who were able to guide me and help me start, you know, these online courses and these, you know, women's fitness groups and coaching challenges and different things like that, that it's really helped me clarify what I'm doing moving forward that I was so lost on last year. Even things like Be the Boss. This time last year, I had 3 clients I coached. 3. I want to say throughout 2020, I've probably coached over 100 clients. Is that too? Maybe like 75 clients, but so like literally, I don't even want to try doing the math, but there's been a lot more, and I'm so grateful for that and for the people who helped me get to this point. And if it was 75 last year, I know it's going to be so many more women I'm able to help on their journeys, not only for pageants, but in their life as well. So lots more things coming that way. I did get to do a couple of speaking opportunities as well. Travel, I had palm trees. Anytime I think of travel, I think of palm trees. I had San Francisco, a couple of places, palm trees and beaches. That's all I wanted. And no, I did not quite get that, but that's okay. You know what? I felt like I got enough time off to spend in my backyard that was like my little travel vacation, pretty much. Okay, so that is a wrap on the 2020 vision board. I feel like it kind of came out a little bit weird, but it's conclusive in my head. And again, a vision board is not something that you're like, okay, I did this, check, check, check. It's not a list in that way. But the whole idea is just to have a vision or an idea of what you want your life to look like throughout the year. So that way you are always clear and focused on the goals that you do have, no matter what happens. So even though we did go through a pandemic this last year, and it's going to carry over into the next year, I feel like I did accomplish a lot of the person I wanted to be, because I know that my external circumstances don't define me and my goals. And the fact that I was able to really clearly identify them at the beginning of the year helped to be able to achieve them. Because if you have unclear goals, you're going to have unclear actions and you're not going to get results. So that's why I make a vision board, and that's why I have it hanging in my room first thing I see in the morning every single day. And I encourage you to make one as well. So if you are interested in learning how to make a vision board, or just kind of being in a group of people who are also interested and geared up to set goals for 2021, then definitely I will have to link the details below of the vision board kind of workshop that I will be hosting to help you get on the right track and set goals for the new year. Again, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series if you've been following along. And like I said, if you ever need help, you can definitely reach out to me. I am always here to help you shine and live life alive. All right, take care everyone. Bye.